The only way to make sense of what's happening in the world today, I think, is to know what's going to happen tomorrow. It's a good thing then that God has see fit to show us a great deal of tomorrow in the unfulfilled prophecies of the Bible. And so we reserve a few minutes Sunday morning to suggest news or trends in the world that you would expect from reading Bible prophecy. To avoid sensationalism, we're careful to use recognized, reliable sources for news. Doesn't mean they're always accurate, but they're not fringe. And we're not saying the things that we report are the fulfillment of particular prophecies, just that they are things you would expect to be taking place as stage setting for the end times. Futurists like ourselves see the biblical prediction of a global government. Sometimes it's referred to as the one world government. It won't be benevolent. It's going to be totalitarian, meaning centralized, dictatorial, and it will require complete subservience to the state. We should therefore see a trend towards global totalitarian rule, not just in nations that already have it, but basically around the globe. And sadly, we are seeing more of this in every nation of the world at this point. I watched a great segment uploaded to YouTube by Sky News in Australia titled, "Prepare for Climate Lockdowns." Here's some of the transcript. In Great Britain, the Oxford County Council are planning on embarking in 2024 on climate lockdowns. They started to spell out the details, and yes, it's all being done in the name of saving the planet from climate change. The Oxford County Council approved their plans to lock residents into one of 6 zones across the city. It is the latest stage in what they call the 15-minute city agenda. They explain how roadblocks will stop most motorists from driving through Oxford city center. The council will place electronic gates on the key roads in and out of the city, confining residents to their own neighborhoods. Motorists will be fined simply for leaving their neighborhood. Every resident will be required to register their car with the Oxford County Council, who will then monitor how many times they leave their district. People can drive freely around their own neighborhood, but must apply for a permit to drive through the filters into another neighborhood, which they can only apply for up to 100 days a year. The council will then track their movements via smart cameras positioned all around the city. If any of Oxford's 150,000 residents drives outside of their designated district more than 100 days in the year, he or she will be fined $150 per incident. What exactly is a 15-minute city? The term was coined in 2016 by Professor Carlos Marino, who was given a Nobel Award in 2021 for developing this idea that essentially would imprison each global citizen within 5 kilometers of their own home. Around here, that would be like Grangeville to Fargo and 10th to 11th. So those are the kinds of neighborhoods they're talking about. The 15-minute city is being eagerly embraced by the United Nations to tackle climate change, as well as by a host of city councils and local governments all around the world. The 15-minute neighborhood is about living locally, giving people the ability to meet most of their daily needs within a 15-minute walk from home, with safe cycling and local transportation options as well. Everything you need, food, healthcare, school, green spaces, should be within a 15-minute walk or bike ride from your home. In the United States, Portland and Detroit and Seattle are looking to rebuild their cities into walkable, bikeable, socially connected communities. And so in Oxford, it could stop, they could change, they could outvote it, I guess, but this is what they're going to do. They're going to lock you in your neighborhood, and you'll be able to cruise your neighborhood, it seems like, so that's kind of cool. Honey, haven't we seen that car? Didn't the Pensieros drive by a few minutes ago? It's be cruising amber, you know, but, and I thought about it, well, I live kind of in the middle. I could walk to church if I had to, and Rite Aid, and there's a couple of markets. There's the $1.25 store, right? Have they renamed it now? The $1.25 store, and then there's that other new market, and CVS, you know, if you have to, and a little shopping center. So, I could get by except for major medical care, I guess. But it's to us, it sounds ridiculous, but they're doing it. And whether it's in the name of a pandemic or everything else is going to be the green agenda to save the planet, the governments are moving towards wanting to hook up together and say, hey, let's Let's rule this thing. Let's tell people what to do. Probably next week I'll do the update, but if I forget, there's one about the World Health Organization. They're trying to get all their member nations to sign an agreement that they will agree on global methods for taking care of any future pandemic and how to enforce it from nation to nation. So they want to get every nation on board with a single approach to a pandemic and penalties as well. And so whoever these guys are and gals, they're moving towards this global authoritarian, totalitarian mentality for your good and for the good of the planet. Now, I'm not suggesting anything about climate change or global warming or anything associated with it. These updates are not meant to be partisan. We're not getting into that part of it. Too often, people talk about prophecy and they end up talking about the political issues surrounding it. Those are important, sure, but I'm saying that the Bible predicts end times global totalitarian government, and it is here or happening everywhere you look in the news. And that should give us courage and strength because our God sees the future, knows the future, and has shared it with us. The big question is, since the next thing that could affect us is going to be the rapture of the church, are you ready for the rapture? If not, get ready and stay ready. Keep looking up. If you're ready or not, Jesus is coming.